It's the Cozy Rainbow Podcast time.
Yate, welcome to Cozy Rainbow Podcast. My name is Tammy, but my students know me as Miss Tammy. Shiet Tammy and Shiet.
Shiet Joe yin Shiet.
On today's episode of the Cozy Rainbow Podcast, we are going to talk all about Navajo code talkers. And if you've never heard of the Navajo code talkers, well, you are in for a treat.
I'm always very proud of our because we are both Navajo sitting here.
Yeah, really fun.
Very proud of our
So our mom
paragraph.
Our mom just coached us on how to introduce ourselves in Navajo. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get into some trivia questions about the Navajo code talkers. So, Joe, we're going to quiz your knowledge. Ready? And I did try to make these hard. So,
Oh, boy.
number 1, where were the first Navajo code talkers? Is it A, Arizona, B, California, C, Utah, or D, New Mexico?
Right. Well, they're not in California.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
I can't believe it, but you gave me a look, and now I'm
What?
doubting myself. So I'm just going to say Arizona and be done with it.
Okay. Number 2, what does Iwo Jima mean?
Iwo Jima is...
What? Do you know already?
What's Japanese?
Well, yeah, it's Japanese. Is it A, Sulphur Island, B, Sulphur Rock, C, Volcano Island, or D, Volcano Beach?
I'll say Volcano Beach.
Okay. Good answer. I mean, it's a decent answer. It's fine. It's just as good as any of the other ones because this is just a pretest. Number 3, true or false? 29 brave Navajo women and men joined the U.S. Marines to serve as the original Navajo code talkers.
For whatever, I don't doubt the 29 part, but I can't seem to remember if it was actually the Marines, because in my head, I always think, oh yeah, the Army, but it makes sense that would be the Marines. So I guess I'll just say true.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Lots of fun facts about the Navajo code talkers.
No ad break?
Right after this, I mean, with further ado, there's a break here right now. Okay, now without further ado, we're going to get into the episode. So, the Navajo people were able to help the U.S. Marines in battle. So, in 1942, 29 original Navajo code talkers were recruited to develop the unbreakable code. So, someone who speaks this Navajo language, so someone like our mother, still could not understand this military code. The unbreakable code used the Navajo language, and oh my goodness, if you don't know who the Navajo people are, that would be us. Hi.
Hey.
Hello. It's nice to meet you all. No, I'm just kidding.
We're the second biggest tribe in the U.S.
That's true.
Second to the Cherokees, who have much, much more lax sort of tribal enrollment policies.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole thing in and of itself, but the Navajo people are located in the Four Corners for the most part in the United States.
Which is to say, Mexico, Arizona...
New Mexico,
Arizona, Utah, and Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yes, and yeah, Native Americans, not super popular in other parts of the country, just really around these Four Corners area. So, not a lot of people speak Navajo. So, these Navajo code talkers they developed the unbreakable code. So the unbreakable code, what they did is they matched each letter of the English alphabet with one Navajo word, and then they added some extra words for planes, ships, and weapons, like special words. With this unbreakable code of the Navajo code talkers, Navajo Marines were able to perfectly transmit classified messages back and forth to each other much faster than other forms of code. Would you like to hear some examples?
I would like to hear some examples. One of them is an egg, isn't it? It's like iron egg.
Oh, maybe. maybe I don't have. Okay, so my examples that I have are in
It's
English.
been a long time since I've like read up on this. I know like they have 1 through like 3-star, meaning well, they refer to people. I'm really hazy on the details.
Okay, well, let me just give you some examples then. Don't even worry about it, buddy.
Yeah.
So these examples are going to be in English because I actually don't speak Navajo, okay? Because Navajo is not a super popular language. And
I don't know. I don't know if you cover it, but
It was classified.
it's classified. You see.
It was classified. So I mean, it makes sense that it's not like a language that a ton of people speak. Like anyway, examples of Navajo code. So fighter plane was hummingbird. Dive bomber was chicken hawk. Tank was turtle. And the alphabet part of it, I just thought I would spell my name in like the code words. So if you were going to say Tammy, Tammy, you would say turkey, ant, mouse, yucca. And I think that's really cute and special. And one thing that I think is really interesting about the Navajo code talkers is that the Navajo language, it's not like they have words for bombs or fighting or weapons or anything
They don't
like
have
that.
they don't have one-to-one words for a lot of stuff.
No, it's literally all just like nice words about like nature and family, like hello. And then they made this into a war language.
You called it cute, didn't you?
I mean, the language itself is kind of cute, like I said, but yeah, I'm like, dang. Anyway, but it was a good idea. So you might be wondering who came up with this idea? How did the Navajo code talkers even become a thing? Well, there was a man named Philip Johnston. He was the son of a missionary who visited the Navajo tribe, so his dad was a missionary. Philip grew up around the Navajo people. And so he knew that Navajo was an unwritten language with unique sounding words. So I'm going to say that again. Navajo was not a language that was written down.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, anyways. At this point in time, it was not written down. So Johnston also knew the Navajo people were educated because of government-established boarding schools on Native American reservations.
The missionaries in boarding schools were not very good things overall. Not very nice places to be for natives.
Navajo people go to the boarding school and then they're not allowed to speak Navajo.
It wasn't necessarily meant for like strictly education.
No.
A lot of it was made
It was meant to wash the culture away. In this article I was reading, they just say like there was government established boarding schools. It didn't say that the boarding schools were like not very good environments for Native people to be in, which that's a whole other topic.
I'd say it's worth another episode, but it's not a very cozy topic.
No, it's not very cozy or rainbow at all, so we probably won't get into that, but just know. So the code was unbreakable and difficult to decode by these enemy soldiers because the Navajo words, they don't have a written form at all.
So step 1, you need someone who speaks Navajo.
Yeah.
And then you get them in, and you ask them, what are they saying? And they say, mouse, yucca.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So this is how it all started. So with this guy, Philip Johnston, he gathered up 3 Navajos that he knew in California.
Okay.
Blah.
Duh.
In Los Angeles. So he knew 3 Navajo people, 3 Navajo guys in Los Angeles, and he got them. And then he got the 4th guy from the Navy. And this 4th Navajo man was serving in the Navy in San Diego, California. And they tested it out. It went well. The first test, they were able to perfectly understand each other and transmit messages in this Navajo code with the Navajo language. So then in Camp Elliott, California, the Marines began recruiting Navajos for the Code Talker program. Okay, now I'm going to discuss one of the more, I would say the most famous battle using Navajo Code Talkers. So that would be the Battle of Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima, meaning Sulphur Island, is a small island with black ashy volcanic beaches. Iwo Jima was the largest of all of the volcanic, it still is. Iwo Jima's still there. Okay, so let me start over. Iwo Jima is the largest of all the volcanic islands in the archipelago near Japan. In 1891, Iwo Jima was claimed by Japan after many Japanese fishermen and miners visited the island. Okay, so Japan, they're just minding their own business. They have an archipelago, kind of cool, formed by volcanoes, and it's like black, and there's people fishing there, and there's people mining sulfur on this island. And nobody's got an issue. But then, later on, people realized that Iwo Jima is it's in a great geographic location. It became a very important military stronghold during World War II. The Battle of Iwo Jima took place on February 19th, 1945, between the U.S. Marines and Japanese soldiers. There's a very famous photograph out there celebrating kind of the victory of the Battle of Iwo Jima by a photographer named Joe Rosenthal. And it's this picture of a bunch of Marines like hoisting up an American flag.
You've probably seen it.
I honestly, when I was looking at it, I didn't recognize it really. Like it wasn't.
No,
But
it's
I
a
think
pretty
if
recognizable photo.
you know what it looks like,
If you watched like history videos in your class, chances are like in the opening,
if you paid attention during the history
slideshow,
videos in your class.
like which is the intro of, it's in all sorts of history intros, like, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
got
all
the
over the place.
guys
You Google Iwo
lifting the
Jima, it
flag.
will come up.
It's an icon.
Sure. So today, Iwo Jima is a part of Tokyo, Japan, but it can only be visited with permission by the U.S. military. So I think that's kind of sad. Like, I don't know. It's more complicated than that, but I'm just like, when I think about it being like a part of an archipelago and a volcanic island, and it's like this beautiful like indigenous language that's only about like turtles and animals and people, like, and here we are, then they make a code to make the birds, animals, and people like talk about blowing stuff up. That's not very cozy rainbow. That's what I gotta say.
World War II. How about that?
It's not very cozy rainbow at all. But what is cozy rainbow is the Navajo code talkers. Very cool phenomenon history. So these Navajo code talkers, super cool. Let's talk about some of the recognition that they received. So in the early days, Navajo code talkers could earn normal military awards like the Purple Heart, Silver Stars, or Good Conduct medals. The Navajo code talkers did not and could not receive any special awards for their special bravery and contributions to World War II because the code was a classified military secret. So it makes sense, right? They can't get a special award because it's literally a huge secret.
You know, in their hearts, yeah, you were the most important guys in the whole war, but unfortunately.
Yeah. So Navajo code talkers who were discharged, such as Chester Nez is one example. Chester Nez was told not to talk about the code once he was discharged. Chester Nez joined when he was 18, and he served as a Navajo code talker. Luckily, he survived until the program was declassified in 1968. So Chester Nez was one of the Navajo code talkers who was able to be recognized for his service and interviewed and all that, and there's quotes from him.
There's a very unfortunately low number of code talkers left to, relish in the glory of their achievements.
Right, yeah, especially because it was such a big secret at the time. So many Navajo code talkers never received the recognition they deserved because they passed away before the program was declassified in 1968. Sad.
It's a lot more than just sad, right? It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy, but it's also very honorable, the service that they did. So
duty and honor and all that, but also come on,
yeah,
please.
Navajo code talkers were recognized for their bravery and contributions in 2000 when the U.S. Congress awarded special gold and silver congressional medals. The gold medals were only given to the original first 29 code talkers. This is a rare piece of history there. And then there's also Navajo Code Talkers Day, which was established in 1982 by President Ronald Reagan. It's on August 14th. There was a program that came out on NBC, I guess, at the time. and it was really moving and about the Navajo code talkers, and it was really inspiring. And then over 17,000 Americans wrote to President Ronald Reagan asking for these Navajo patriots to be recognized.
Good people.
Solidarity. Okay. Now I'm going to get into some fun stuff. A couple really fun things, if you ask me. There is a G.I. Joe Navajo code talker.
Yeah?
Yeah. So this, it was released in 1999. Hasbro released the G.I. Joe Navajo code talker. It's a little action figure, G.I. Joe, and it speaks Navajo and English when you raise one of the arms. So one arm is for Navajo, and then the other arm is for English, I think.
Well, what's his name?
I don't know.
Well,
Do they all have names?
well, pause it.
Pause it.
Pause it. I need to know now.
Oh, they don't have a name, Joe Finds. No name.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
He talks?
Some
I'm looking at the box.
retailers,
He talks.
some retailers online sell this vintage toy for over $100. And you can see videos of the audio of the Navajo code talker talking. I'll post one on our website, cozyrainbow.org, if you're not already listening on the webpage. A lot of people listen through the webpage.
The toy company Hasbro recorded Dr. Samuel Billison, an actual code talker, to be the voice of their code talker.
There you go. Okay, so that's a fun fact. Another fun fact is that there's a Burger King in Kayenta, Arizona that has a whole display on Navajo code talkers. It's like a mini museum inside of a Burger King.
Strange place, but
Yeah, so
that's where it gets seen by a lot of people, isn't it?
Burger King, yeah, you bet. And they have a big sign out front that says, visit the unique World War II Navajo code talkers display in Navajo Culture Center at Burger King. In Kayenta, there's about 5,000 people that live there, and over 90% of the population is Navajo, which is quite rare. In most places, the population of Navajo people is 0%, 0 to 1%.
Well, you got to be in the right part of the country.
You got to be in the right part of the country, but if it's not on the reservation, yeah, you're going to be 0 to 1%. Okay, so really fun. Lastly, let's talk about some famous Navajo code talkers. So there was that one that you just said.
Dr. Billison.
Dr. Billison, who was the G.I. Joe official voice of the G.I. Joe Navajo code talker.
Yeah.
We have Lloyd Oliver, was another famous Navajo code talker, I'd say, because he, there's a photo of him. There's only like 25 photos. Well, there's more, but like when you look at different photo collections and stuff, there's like a nice like solo portrait image of this Lloyd Oliver. Peter McDonald, you can listen to him in Interview with a Navajo Code Talker. If you're looking for a primary source on Navajo Code Talkers, I would recommend you look up Peter McDonald. Then there's Carl Gorman. Now this is pretty cool. Carl Gorman received an honorary doctoral degree from the University of New Mexico for his efforts to preserve the Navajo culture. They just gave him a doctoral degree.
That's some good scholarly work, preserving your culture.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying like they shouldn't have done that. I just think that is so cool. Like this guy, like, yeah.
Good scholarly work, duly rewarded.
Duly rewarded. All right. And then this is another one I think is cool. We have Jack Nez. So Jack Nez was one of the first.
Jack Nez is the most Navajo sounding name I've ever heard.
I thought, who was the other guy I mentioned? Nez is
outside of like, Yazi and Junior.
Yeah. Yeah. Chester Nez. I think that one sounds.
Yeah, you're probably right,
that
actually.
One sounds more Navajo if you ask me. Anyway, Jack Nez, he was one of the first 29 code talkers. He had a son, Glenn Nez, who went on to work for the CIA. And I think that's cool because, Jack Nez, he actually passed away before, like I said, he was one of the ones who passed away before Navajo Code Talking, the program, was declassified. So it was a really big honor for his family when the congressional awards were awarded and all that. Then Glenn Nez was able to, kind of receive the award in his father's honor. And I think he also mentioned in this interview that it inspired him. His dad inspired him to go work for the CIA. So I think that's great and cool.
Yeah.
And wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's what I got about the Navajo Code Talkers.
Yeah.
So without further ado, again, this time really without it, we're going to get back into those trivia questions and we're going to say the real answers this time. So Joe, number 1, where were the first Navajo Code Talkers?
California.
California. Shocking. Shocking.
That's not where the res is.
No, it's not.
But it is the closest state to Japan, so.
Oh. Well, isn't that a mighty fun fact?
Yeah.
Number 2, what does Iwo Jima mean?
Sulphur Island.
Sulphur Island, yes.
Kind of a random question, all things considered.
Well, yeah.
It is
I
relevant,
guess.
clearly,
Well,
but.
Yeah, because it's the most.
It's hard to see the connection before you listen to the episode.
Sure. And number 3, true or false, 29 brave Navajo women and men joined the U.S. Marines to serve as the original Navajo Code Talkers.
True.
So it's actually false.
Oh, no.
It's actually false because,
No.
see, let me read it to you again and listen because
Yeah.
it's a trick.
It's no men and women, right?
It's
Just
not.
men.
There's no
just
women.
men.
It's
of
just
course.
men. Boo.
I
No
was
women?
about to say.
What is this all about?
I was about to say.
Why
to
they
you,
let
hey,
Navajo women in there?
Why didn't you list any famous Navajo women code talkers?
Exactly, because there
And
was none.
World War II.
Yep.
That's that was the or no that's never mind.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's false. There were no lady Navajo Code Talkers, unfortunately. Although today, yes, you can find women who serve. I mean, Native American women, Navajo women who serve in the U.S. military.
Like our aunt.
Yes. Yeah, we have an aunt who does. And I've met other people, too, who are also Navajo and serve. Anyway, great episode.
Yeah.
If you would like to find learning resources, if you would like to find some classroom resources, if you're a teacher looking for scaffolded notes, if you want a timeline activity, if you want to map out all the places that I just named in this episode on a map and develop your map skills, visit our website, www.cozyrainbow.org, or our Teachers Pay Teachers store, and you will find some great printable activities. Some are free. Yeah, I forgot to say that. Free learning resources for this episode if you would like to teach your class about Navajo Code Talkers. You can also follow us on Instagram at CozyRainbowNV. And if you are the age of 13 years or older, you can contact us, or have a parent or guardian contact us, send us your artwork, your fan art, whatever it is. Maybe it's a creative challenge from a past episode. Our email address is cozyrainbownv@gmail.com. All right, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.